and welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, ET Now's special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. On the show today, renowned fashion designer Sabyasachi shares entrepreneurial tips for succeeding in the apparel and accessories space. On Bright Sparks tonight, ComCon, a company that has been offering technical support to the nation's most far-reaching broadcasters since the 1980s. And Fabiano Appliances, a rapidly rising name in the consumer durables space. So that's what we have in store for you tonight. Let's begin right away then with our Bright Sparks. Tonight, our first Bright Spark is a company from New Delhi that started out with manufacturing electronic media equipment in the 1980s and continues to do so even today. It remains the preferred choice for reputed broadcasters and is now exploring overseas expansion as well. Here's ET Now's Punita Verma with the inspiring story of ComCon.
In the 1980s, Doordarshan and All India Radio were the shining stars in the business of media and communication. Behind them stood tall ComCon Industries, a company that has been providing strong technological support and electronics equipment to broadcast veterans since 1982. So with the international electronic manufacturers entering the market post-liberalization, the indigenous companies suffered a lot. How did you survive those times?
See, with foreign players coming to India, the customer had the option of going for Indian products or going for the foreign manufactured products, which of course it was not possible for us to instantaneously reinvent ourselves and compete. So we added different parallel business lines which were related, not like completely different, related. So we have always been good in audio technologies. So we started with audio testing solutions, which has become today a whole business in itself. Going forward, that will remain, and it today takes a decent amount of our time and effort, as well as brings in the revenue. Similarly, we have gone on to services, wherein we provide a lot of repair. Our manpower is used for providing services to the customers. We started doing system integrations. We still take system integration projects. So we went on to allied fields in order to make sure that we are still in the market, still serving the same customers, and still in the minds and the hearts.
So what kind of business diversions did you make in order to compensate for the market share loss following the arrival of foreign players?
So we definitely are looking at going global. We definitely are looking at taking Indian products out the way they are bringing, other manufacturers are bringing products into India. We have already taken steps in this direction. We have a US subsidiary which has been open to find out the market environment over there. It is not a one-day step, so we have already moved in that direction. We are already reinventing our designs. We are already looking at setting up systems in-house which can cater to multiple time zones. So the products are being designed to take care of different technology and environment ratings. For different countries have different different levels to subscribe to, different levels to adhere to. So yes, we are definitely going global. It is about time we did that.
So what kind of technological upgradations did you make in your business in order to stay ahead of the competition?
In order to survive and keep doing what we do best, we have moved on our manufacturing from basic manual thing to CAD. Then we started using a lot of modern machinery. We moved on to CAM. We have put up a whole software team which helps us with all the embedded softwares. We are using a lot of these digital design technologies which helps bring our products exactly the way our customers expect it today.
With the clientele spanning across major media conglomerates in India, ComCon is now looking to spread its wings overseas as well. From developing broadcast software solutions to now entering the domain of trading electronics equipment, ComCon is leaving no stone unturned to make a mark in this space. So what are some of the proud moments you witnessed during the entire journey of ComCon?
There used to be times, many decades, when any audio which has been broadcasted in India would have passed through ComCon equipment at least once, if not more. Another point I remember proudly is that we have supplied phono equipment for putting live on air telephone conversation in way back in early 90s. and that equipment we have supplied to practically everyone in the broadcast industry.
So what kind of policy or preference changes would you expect from government in order to have a successful re-establishment of electronic manufacturing business?
Electronics business needs lots of investment in the plant and machinery, and on top of it the plant and machinery need very frequent upgrades because of the technological changes, and that makes available duration for recovery of investment very small, and government should make it equal playing for Indian manufacturer vis-a-vis other countries where money is available at throwaway or negligible or zero interest rates.
Despite foreign players entering the market, Comcon still stands firm with a whopping 80% of the market share among indigenous manufacturers of media electronics. The company has only one mantra: to keep reinventing itself and strive for perfection.
Our next bright spark tonight is a company that believes in enhancing the beauty and efficiency of every kitchen. It manufactures a host of consumer durables like water purifiers, geysers, chimneys, induction cookers, etc. Here's ET Now's Libza Manan with the story of Fabiano Appliances that's carving out a niche for itself in the highly competitive segment of consumer durables.
Ravi Agarwal, a first-generation entrepreneur, gave up his traditional family business and forayed into the home appliances industry with an aim to revamp the sector. His vision is to promote spick-and-span cooking spaces, offering healthy lifestyles for Indian consumers. Today, Fabiano's diverse range of easy-to-use and affordable appliances is making life simpler for end users.
You gave up your traditional family business and forayed into the home appliances industry. When you started Fabiano Appliances, what were some of the initial challenges that you had to overcome?
There were so many companies present at that time. We were very small with very little money, and all the competitors were very big with very big brands. And slowly and steadily, with our hard work and very good pricing and cost cuttings and best price and consumer satisfaction, we kept on growing and growing and growing. Now we are one of the leaders.
Affordable pricing has been the core focus of Fabiano Appliances. How do you make sure that the best price is given to the customer?
We don't go by the market prices. Suppose a product is being sold in market for say 100 rupees. We don't believe in that. If the cost is less for us, we will sell at a particular margin only, at a very low cost. Irrespective of market selling or MOP, market operating price, we sell at the best price to the consumer. We are not concerned with what others are selling. We are concerned to give the best to the consumer.
Having been in this industry for more than 2 decades now, how would you present a macro picture of the consumer durables industry?
In India, consumer durable industry is evergreen. People will live, people have kitchens, and kitchen appliances will sell. Indian economy is growing. People demand is growing, their expectations are growing, and their necessities are growing. So this industry will keep on growing at a very fast pace, and expectations will grow and sales will keep on increasing.
According to you, what are some of the differentiating factors that makes Fabiano Appliances a leader of tomorrow?
We are leader. We give best price. We give best quality, best price, and the price which we can give by backward integration, by manufacturing all the products in-house, by making all the components in-house, by controlling cost and giving maximum benefit to directly to the consumer. Whatever we can give, I don't think anybody else can give.
The company has a pan-India presence with 2 manufacturing facilities in Delhi and in Parvanu, Himachal Pradesh. Besides brick and mortar stores, Fabiano has also entered the online space with a strong presence across all e-commerce portals.
Modern trade is the future of marketing, so that's why we are emphasizing on it. We are working with some big brands like Hypercity, Max Hyper, Spencer, Spar, etc.
Customer is having any complaint, then we give toll-free number. We have a toll-free number. Then he or she calls at this number, and within 24 hours the complaint is rectified.
The company clocked a turnover of 50 crores last fiscal and is eyeing growth of 30 to 40% in the next couple of years. With a clear vision to soar high in the growing home appliances industry, Fabiano plans to enhance its production size with large-scale expansion.
Let's take a short break at this point. On the other side, we'll meet fashion designer Sabyasachi and talk to him about balancing creative satisfaction with entrepreneurial success. Stay with us on Leaders of Tomorrow, only on ET Now. Welcome back to Leaders of Tomorrow. Next up is our special segment called Insight, where we bring you exciting conversations with policymakers, academicians, and leaders of India Inc. Tonight we are in conversation with someone who's a favorite with the who's who of the Hindi film fraternity. He's known for dressing up renowned actors. He had a terrific entrepreneurial journey, and he also manages to balance numbers very well with creative satisfaction. Here's a part of the conversation I had earlier with the immensely successful fashion designer Sabyasachi. You come from a background that was not really into business. Can't really say business was in your blood. And back in the 90s, studying fashion was not very encouraged, especially more so for boys. So what made you take that decision, and how did your family take it? Did they always want you to be an engineer? Because that's what, you know.
Well, back in the 90s, it was almost preposterous for a Bengali boy to pursue fashion because your parents would decide for you that you could A, be a doctor or an engineer, and if you were not good enough, maybe a CA. So that was all three options that we had for us. But, you know, I was always creatively inclined, and I used to cut up my father's socks to make clothes for my sister's dolls, because that was the only thing in the house that had a little bit of lycra. But then, you know, I also think that, you know, I'm very, very, how do I say, I'm very, very focused about what I really want to do in my life. Right. And I've always thought that, you know, if you do something that you're happy doing, and it's something that excites you, you are bound to find success.
So you passed out of NIFT in 1999, and did you always want to be an entrepreneur? Because you would have had choices to join other people and, you know, still be creative, but how did entrepreneurship happen? I
always had a very keen sense of entrepreneurship. You know, I had a modeling agency while I was still in school. I used to make fake costume jewelry and sell it on the footpaths of Calcutta. So I never thought that I wanted to work with somebody. In fact, when I was in NIFT, I got a lot of major awards all India, and I was given a great job with a big designer in the country. And also the fact that, you know, I was one of the few designers from NIFT to get a full scholarship to Nottingham University, and I'd never seen the inside of a plane. But I still decided to give it all up to kind of work in a small printing factory to pick up the tricks of the trade. Right. And there I am now.
So you started out with just 3 people funding your business yourself. Today, what's the reach and what's the scale of Sabyasachi, the brand?
Well, there are about 3,000 people working with us right now on our payroll, and we have 5 flagship stores across the country. The company is still self-funded. You know, I've plowed back every cent that I've made into the business, and it's quite a robust business. It still makes a handsome amount of profit, so I'm quite happy.
So you're a creative soul and you're also an entrepreneur. So sometimes balancing creativity with numbers is, I'm sure, a big challenge. I'm sure you make stuff sometimes out of passion, which is not very marketable. So how do you maintain that balance?
You know, I'm very spiritual and I'm very detached. I know what I'm doing. So when I'm at home and when I wear my track pants and my t-shirt and my flip-flops and I get into my car to go to work, the first thing that comes into my mind is it is a business. I have, you know, when you're running, when 3,000 people are working under you and your tailor's children have started going to school, it becomes a big responsibility. So I do not let indulgence come into my way.
So who would you say is your target client? Clearly not the middle class, it's a luxury brand. And what sort of design sense are you appealing to?
You know, the brand is a luxury brand, but I call it a communist luxury brand. It's a very democratic brand because the way we position our brand, the price points, it is a very accessible brand for a lot of people because we are on television, which is not a medium that many designers use to sell their wares. We are, we have salespeople in our stores, they speak all national languages. And I think because I grew up middle class, I understand the importance of importance of what quality holds when you spend a little bit of money. So we are trying to democratize the brand by kind of getting our sales base wider and wider and pulling down our prices. And today I am eyeing the big growing middle class in the country because that's the future of your business.
What are some of the indigenous Indian methods that you're using in your design and your weaves, your textiles, some of the dyeing arts that you're trying to revive?
See, everything that we do in the company is about reviving, and it's also about sustaining. So what we do is we realize that just reviving something doesn't help, you have to sustain it also. So we try to create a business for our craft base by kind of focusing on education and focusing on imparting knowledge. So the brand is very strong on social media. We are very strong in kind of educating the minds of our consumers, because only if the consumer wants something will you be able to revive it. Right. But we are doing everything from doing shawls in Kashmir to chicken curry in Lucknow, to weaves in Banaras and Kanchipuram and Pochampalli, to khadi in Andhra Pradesh, to khadi in Bengal, to silks in Bhagalpur. We've started doing bandhani in Kutch. So almost every part of the country we are working on. We still haven't tapped Northeast very strongly, but we intend to go there as well.
And bridal wear is one of your key focus areas. So over the last 15, 17 years, how has that evolved? Has the fashion sense changed around it, or has it remained the same?
Bridal wear, is one aspect of India where fashion should not enter. It's very traditional, and the more traditional you keep, the more iconic is the image making. And we have had a theory earlier when I came into the scene, the fashion journalists were very nice to me. Then suddenly they turned unkind because they used to say that he does the same thing over and over again. And in the face of criticism, if you manage to kind of steer your ship and not get affected by what people have to say and stay true to yourself and move ahead, then suddenly all the criticism kind of converts into praise. So the brand right now is enjoying that. I like the fact that we've built a brand by creating iconism through repetition.
Your critics say that your brand has pretty much remained the same over the years and there's no freshness to it, your designs are repetitive. How do you deal with that? What's your thought behind it?
The Sabyasachi customer is a mature customer. She probably comes to us after she's done with her experimentation everywhere, and our brand grows because of the fact that the customer adores the fact that we give them something that they can wear for the next 20, 30 years. And there are many brands like Chanel who have built a brand completely out of repetition and iconism, and I think we are in the perfect track.
And you've also ventured into menswear, you've ventured into jewelry, you've ventured into kids wear, calling it Chota Sabya. So are these lines going to, are they one-offs, or do you want to continue to build these lines as well?
Well, menswear has been very good. In fact, I was very flattered because we are still young menswear designer. We got an award from a very leading fashion magazine, GQ, as the menswear designer of the year. And our menswear brand is becoming stronger and stronger because I think we do beautiful conservative menswear, and I think the men love it, and it's traditional wedding clothing. And the brand is growing. Chota Sabya, unfortunately, I've not been able to put too much attention to because it got sidetracked, but I want to come back to it because I think more and more Indian parents want their children to grow up amongst a very cultural environment. Jewelry is something that I'm very committed to because I love jewelry. I have a fantastic partner, Krishna Das and Company from Hyderabad, who are iconic jewelers in the country. But something that Sabyasachi, the brand, really wants to get into is real estate and homes.
And you've also designed for some very renowned Hindi movies. How did designing for Bollywood really happen? Was that by choice or by chance?
Well, it was actually not by choice because I got a call from Sanjay Bansali to do Black. When he called me at that point of time, I didn't even know who he was. And then I was asked to dress up Rani Mukherjee. I didn't even know who she was, but I heard that she was a very big star. And Then slowly and slowly they became friends. One led to the other. At that point of time, I wanted to do films because it was a new medium. Because sometime in my life, I want to direct my own film. I love the medium because I studied a little bit of theatre and drama.
Okay.
So for me, it was just kind of, how do I say, it was just indulgence. But right now, because the business has grown, there's no room for indulgence anymore.
Talking a little bit about the numbers and the business side, what's your marketing and branding strategy like?
So we have started actually advertising, we have started putting ourselves on social media, we have started opening stores all across the country. And also we have a very, very large and notorious copy market.
Yeah.
You know, we over the last 3 years, very carefully we have started, creating, taking care of the IPR of the brand, and we have started registering all our designs.
Right.
Very soon we are going to aggressively we have hired one of the topmost IPR firms in the country. So we are going to aggressively go after the copy market, and we are going to make sure that eventually we can shut them down.
Today, technology is really transforming businesses of all kinds, of all sizes. How has it impacted your business on the operations side, as well as maybe your marketing strategies, advertising strategies?
If it comes to the tipping point where technology will replace hand skills, I will never let that happen. We have a little mandate in the company that if a machine can kill the work of 5 people, let's kill the machine instead. So we try to make our work more and more hand-induced, because that is going to be the new flavor of luxury. Because when everything becomes too easy, then discomfort becomes the new luxury.
So today, what is your vision for Sabyasachi for, say, the next decade?
I heard something very inspiring by Mr. Amitabh Kant. He said that when he was branding Kerala as God's own country, he said that I took Kerala backwards to take it forwards. He said that there was a time when cheap tourism used to happen from Manchester, and then when he started making everything in Kerala very true to what Kerala stood for, suddenly the room rates jumped to over $400 a night. That is what we have always intended the brand to be. I want when the whole world is advancing towards technology and towards modernism, we like to keep everything handmade. For instance, let's take our jewelers, for instance. There are other jewelers in the country who would do mechanized jewelry. Yes. I still force them to make handcrafted jewelry, which takes more hours to do. Maybe it's a little more expensive, but at the end of the day, that's the real deal. I think, if I translate it into business, I will say that it's better to do 2 things and make the same amount of money than to do 10 things. Luxury is all about rarefication, and the moment you kind of simplify luxury, it's not luxury anymore.
Most fashion graduates like you want to start out on their own. They want to establish a business, establish a label of their own. Your advice to early stage startups?
I say the same thing. I've said this 10 years ago and I'll say it today, that believe in yourself, and there'll be a time when the world starts believing in you. You have to wait for that to happen.
Well, with that, it's a wrap for tonight on Leaders of Tomorrow. We'd love to hear from you, so feel free to get in touch with us. Write to us at leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com, or reach us using social media by putting in the hashtag LOT, or just call us on the number flashing on your screen. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye and good night.